Howdy guys, welcome back to Calls Before Symptom. It's nice to see you guys. I haven't seen y'all in a while. Pastor Carner is out tonight. He's out with the missus. Good night to take a break and enjoy some time with his family. And he's asked me to fill in. If you guys have been here for a while, you know exactly who I am. And for everyone who usually tunes in, glad to see you guys again. Hey, what's up, Amanda? See how many of the usuals pull in tonight. We're going to chat. We're going to catch up. We're going to look into just some of the latest stuff that I've been doing. What's up, Scorpion? How you doing? Nice to see you. We got all this and more. Let everybody get in, grab some drinks, grab some snacks, and we're going to roll the intro.
On Saturday. We'll have a pint to celebrate.
I hope everybody's been well. Yes, you are correct. Pastor Carner does need a break. You know, I remember the very first time that I filled in for him. It was a little over a year now. And I remember, like, I really had no experience. Make that a little bit bigger. I've never had any real experience streaming. And, man, that was just a mess the first. I mean, it probably came off okay, but, like, Streaming is hard. I mean, it's like at least you got to get into a groove, you know. There's so many different options. There's so many different ways to do things. Um, there's, I mean, honestly, I try to go for the everything free. That's what I like about Rumble Studio is that it's completely free. The only other one that even comes close to it is StreamYard. StreamYard, if you want to stream to multiple platforms, you have to pay like 40, 50, $60 or something. So Rumble Studios really saved my life. But yeah, honestly, I just wanted to kind of update you guys on some of the stuff that I've been doing lately. I don't know how many of you guys are following me, but lately I've started a new weekly series that we're going to be doing with Juxtaposition 1. And so I'm going to play like the highlight reel for you guys just so you guys can see like a preview of it. It's about 15 minutes. And then after that, I was just going to show you some of the latest research I've been doing because it actually, interestingly, or I guess really if you've been doing this for a while, it's not shocking, but pertains to what's going on today with shocking accuracy. So yeah, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the highlight reel from yesterday's video. It's going to go on Tuesdays. We're going to do an interview every week on Tuesdays, and it'll have a different theme each time. And here we go. Let's see. I need to make myself smaller. Yeah. There I am. All right. Here we go. Boom. Now I can start it. See what I mean, guys?
Okay, well, the Swiss story is well over 1,000 years old. It's
What's up,
it's
Boots?
older
Nice
than
to see you, buddy.
1,000 years, but so you could spend, years talking
Glad to
about
see you,
the
man.
history of Europe and
This is
Switzerland. But
a
if
project
you
that
went
I'm
on a
working on every
bicycle
week
ride,
now.
you'd learn a lot without actually, having to listen to anyone
This
lecture
is
you. You just ride
Juxtaposition
around and you
1.
see that
He's
you have these
somebody who
mountains,
I've
the
worked with on
Alps.
Substack.
Yeah, we have the
And
French
I
Alps
actually
and the
just got done
Italian
doing
Alps,
a
which are called the
meeting with
Dolomites,
them.
and then
We do that
we have
every
the
Wednesday.
Swiss Alps. Anyway, you have this place that is set up just like a militarized fort called Switzerland, surrounded by very high mountains, 8,000 feet tall mountains. And this is a natural wall, a protective wall to keep invaders out and keep schemers in. And I can assure you they didn't build the wealth of Switzerland on cuckoo clocks and cheeses from the cows that graze upon the hillsides of those Alps. And anyway, so I don't want to get into the whole minutia about when did Switzerland enter the fray, but if I started, I would say it was
episode
with
we did was on Switzerland and the Bank for
the
International
creation of the
Settlements.
Knights Templar, which are soldiers of Christ. And this is where we integrate the Christianity and the Apostolic Roman Catholic Church and align it directly with military weaponry of saber swords, bayonets, rifles, spears, cannons, and divisions of men, companies, battalions, troops. And then under the guise of
this is going to be a really good series. I'm really excited for it.
Work,
we have a lot of good
we go to
ideas when we get together, and
outside of
he's
our
got a
border,
lot of hands-on knowledge. I mean, he's in a really
and we set up
important area. He's in like the part of California,
and bring in a priest, and we set a moral authority which the locals don't understand. And then at a point of a saber sword or bayonet, we baptize the local people into our district, and they do call it a district. They also appoint, besides the parish priest, They will also appoint a governor who will have bank authority. You have a banking governor. You've heard that expression, the governors of the Federal Reserve Bank. There are 7 governors of the Federal Reserve banking system in the United States. There are 13 Federal Reserve Bank headquarters. There are 12 districts. There are 12 banking districts. That comports to 33 is 12, right? How many apostles for Jesus? 12. There were 12 apostles. What did the Holy Catholic Church adopt with Jewish Christianity? It was called the Apostolic Christianity, Apostolic Roman Catholic Church, Apostolic, based on 12. Well, the board of directors of the Federal Reserve Bank in Washington, D.C., which, by the way, is not a state. It is a maritime law district of Columbia. It is a district, not a state. It's in District 5 of the Hunger Games, but yet it has a life to its own. And this is the headquarters for central authority with a ginormous obelisk called the Washington Monument with a reflection pond and the Lincoln Memorial at the other end. This is
Real quick comment just to let you know. So Juxtaposition has been in finance. He's been like at the executive level of finance in like the places to be in California, like banking districts and everything like that. So he has been around these people his whole life, and so like he's got a lot of interesting stories to tell. So many.
This is an allegiance to Geneva, Switzerland, Swiss Bank Authority. If you didn't know, it is the 13th Federal Reserve Bank, is headquartered in and around the obelisk in Washington, D.C. You will find the same situation in Paris, France, in the same thing. One's heads, one's tails, but they're yin and yang. They do depend on each other because banks need to be guarded, because when citizens rise up and realize that they have an unethical banker on their hands, then the banker lives in fear of being, hung in the town square. So they hide behind their security systems, their cameras, and their armed guards, Brink's armed guards, and later, National Guards and Marines. Donald Trump is a good example of the clown show of, I'm going to send in the Marines to keep order. You're not going to keep order. If you want to set up a prison, that's more restrictive, you can do that. That's all the Marines can do, is to set a perimeter and guard the perimeter. That's all they can do. They can be like My Lai, like the United States Army, and go in and just murder children and women. You can do that too. Or you can just do it without entering the secured perimeter. You drop a bomb or electrify them all or kill them with streetlights, LED weapons, light emitting diode weaponry. You can do that. You can kill people. But as far as law and order, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as law, and there's no such thing as order. There's only techno enslavement or enslavement by any means possible. But there's no law, there are no judges, there are no courts, and there is no order. There's just people figuring it out how to get food and shelter. That's what we have. Civilization is defined as military control. That's what they would say. Now, bankers are heavily indoctrinated people, so they are fairly clueless. They're just on a submarine that has all the different compartments that are sealed off from each other. And the bankers that are in the torpedo room, they don't know anything about what goes on in the galley or the engine room. They're clueless as to where the steak knives are kept. But the people in the galley know where the steak knives are.
I love the little CapCut
and so
subtitles.
That's how they've arranged
where it has like the little
military,
emojis. Those are great. I don't know why.
Like with the naval submarine. Well, guess how they arrange the Bank for International Settlements, or Bank America, or Merrill Lynch is part of Bank of America, or Blackstone, or BlackRock, or Chase, Jamie Dimon Chase, or Citigroup. Exactly how the Navy is organizing their ships and submarines. Exactly how the Air Force is organizing their chemtrail delivery vehicles, the KC-10 extenders, the KC-46 Pegasus. All branches of the military are organized precisely how all major banks are set up.
Got to see the usuals here
in a compartmentalized, need to know security clearance.
I was kind of happy when he asked
me. So when we say when you ask what would a banker say, well, it depends which level on the obelisk they are. The higher up, like the president of the World Bank,
How
for
do they
example,
see money?
they
Currency.
would see it as control. It's a control mechanism. It's one of the best control mechanisms that they've ever created.
Mhm.
Is this idea which they perfected as credit. It is now money is credit. Money is not silver and gold coins anymore. I mean, they're just about gotten that completely gone.
Greatest
But
alchemical feat. I was gonna
credit.
say, I got
It's
something on
about
that.
your
Hey,
privileges
what's up, Claire? How you
within
doing?
a society Hunger Game district.
I said it was the greatest alchemical feat of all time to create gold out of nothing. The
Nice to
United
see ya.
Nations,
All the
the
usuals are in the
IRC,
house tonight.
RCM, International Red Cross and Red Crescent Movement, or the IMF, International Monetary Fund.
Right.
The Bank of International Settlements has a special status. Employees in the financial sector are granted immunity and may not be searched. The building and all its parts also play a crucial or special role.
Nice to
The
see you as
building
well.
and grounds are treated
This is an
similarly
interview
to
I
an
did. We're going to
embassy
be doing
and are
weekly on my channel.
invulnerable. It's a Swiss usage of the word, or inviolable.
This is like
German
a highlight
usage of the
reel.
word.
It's only
It
a
is
couple
part of the
minutes long.
Swiss territory, but national sovereignty can only be enforced to a limited extent. Swiss authorities have access only if the president or CEO of the Bank of International Settlements grants permission and waives the principle of territorial
You-
inviolability. The
You
circumstance is
never know. You're
often
not supposed to
colloquially
notice things
referred
like
to
that.
in the press as extraterritorial status,
It's not a
which
good
is
idea.
somewhat simplified but not entirely legally correct.
Antiseptic.
This special status is governed by an agreement which entered into force on January 1st,
So
1987.
let me just make sure everybody heard that. And if you could read right there on the screen, basically, even the police in Switzerland, the government of Switzerland is not allowed to enter the Bank of International Settlements without permission from the manager. So to me, that sounds like the bank is in charge of that country. It's like the cause, like they can't come into the bank. You can't come in here without permission. Even the government, even the president of Switzerland, sounds like the bank is in charge.
Between the Bank of International Settlements and the Swiss Federal Council. The agreement has its origins in an agreement concluded at the Hague Conference on January 20th, 1930. Access by Swiss authorities, including the police, requires the authorization of the president or general manager of the Bank of International Settlements. In my mind, it sounds like the bank is the one that runs that country.
Of course.
That's like literally, there's no way.
That's who runs Donald Trump. There's no president. There's no King Charles doesn't run the United Kingdom. Switzerland does. And Henry VIII didn't run England either. Okay. So
as a matter of fact,
United,
that is absolutely true. Because if you go back and you look at the whole where they cut the head off the king, Oliver Cromwell was financed by it was Swiss and Dutch Jews. Yeah, because then as soon as Cromwell and his people get into basically dictatorship, they remove the ban on Jews in England. So it's after the king is killed, Charles I, Jews are allowed to re-enter England, which was the first time that was a thing until or since Edward I, I think.
Francis Drake, he's flying a Swiss flag. Sir Francis Drake is flying a Swiss flag when he came out to California Point Reyes and Drake's Bay. We renamed it Drake's Bay on Sir Francis Drake Boulevard. He's flying a red cross against a white sail like he's a Spanish conquistador, but he's not from Spain. He's from England, but he flies the exact same flag that Spain does. So Spain and England are two colonies belonging to Switzerland. The Swiss flag is a red can.
So this is me. If you don't know who I am, I'm filling in for James tonight. He's just having a night off. He'll be back tomorrow. But this is a highlight reel from an interview series that I'm starting weekly. This is just like a highlight of the whole interview. There's only about 5 minutes left.
With a white flag, But you'll notice that the Red Cross, which is the inversion of that, is also headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. And that's the flag that they have Spain and England flying under, is the Red Cross flag.
We'll get to that because you
It's
got
on
an image of
Switzerland
that.
and the
The
Bank of
papal
International
infallibility, that was a big point that
Yeah.
I like. The whole
Yeah,
thing
because
works on that.
the policy that you just read concerning the Bank for International Settlements being like an embassy, like its own sovereign state, and that the police cannot search and seize the people that work there. That's the policy of the Vatican in Rome. That's the
Rome
policy
has
of the
the Swiss Guard,
infallibility of the Pope.
So
That's the policy that you are not allowed to question or investigate decision making that occurs within that sovereign ground, the grounds around the Vatican, the walled city, and the Vatican essentially is
How you doing,
modeled
buddy? Nice
after
to see
the
you.
tower in Switzerland, which I'll give you the address of where it's located. It's at Central Bank Plaza, number 2. You should know that number 2 is 11. You should know 11. There are 12.
Honestly, with other people about that
cool
as well.
interview's
The
really
best
good.
way to
You should see
to
the
view
first
this
episode too. That was good.
literally
It's going to be a really good
is
series.
that it is, like cataloging and keeping track of livestock. That is livestock management.
That's the scary part.
Like not
Using a
literally.
hyperledger, sophisticated
Yes.
book.
if you've ever have been around livestock management, like how you keep track of animals on a farm, that is exactly what like the real ID, digital ID stuff is going to be like.
System.
Mhm.
That you can run cryptocurrency on, and you can run central bank digital currency on the exact platform that the crypto runs on. So like, I'm going to do Bitcoin. I don't care. I'm going to do Wells Fargo central bank digital currency. I don't care. I'm going to do barter and exchange, and I'm going to run around my neighborhood trying to sell artwork. I don't care. I'm keeping track of your geofencing. I know where you sleep. I know where you go. I know if you're carrying things. I know if you hand it to someone and they hand you something back. I know that because I have Ring cameras and I have ultrasonic systems. I have smart meters, LED streetlights. I have drones over your head that you don't see. I have satellites above, right? So I don't care what you do. I'm tracking you, whether you participate or not.
So the idea being, 1984.
1984.
The truth is whatever Big Brother says the truth is. So the goal is literally to move the truth over to the crypto ledger. That's that's the whole dynamic of why
this is everything
making
that
good
James
into
talks
bad
about
and
right
bad,
here.
like the inversion, is they're going to move truth over to something that they literally do control. Because once they control,
if for instance, okay, you look on the internet, you don't know what's real. There's like anything could be AI now. Anything could be a deep fake. It's like getting very bad now. And that is obviously like the problem first. And so that means that now that everything, we don't know what's real or not, now we're going to need a way to verify it. And so to verify it, you're going to need to link everything to your ID. Just because, you need to know what's coming from a real person or not. I don't know how soon that'll happen. I mean, we could guess, but it'll happen either way. And that's what I mean, is that once the truth or verification exists, did this really come from you? Well, you means that your account's linked to your government ID. And the ultimate goal is to link it to your DNA. And we're not far from it, because if you go to World ID, it's like at the App Store. You could look at the App Store, just look up World ID, and it has an app. You don't got to download it, but it's an app. And kind of they offer you money, and it's like, or you get coins or something to get your World ID. And to do it, you have to go and do like an eye scan, a retina eye scan. AI has cats getting arrested for shoplifting catnip. True. It's true.
truth, then they control time.
That's
Sure. And that's all a meta universe. It's AR, VR. Right now we're in an augmented reality where there's a lot of, we're in a matrix of mendacity where the television news presenters, the news readers, they're lying 24/7. Then you go over, you run off TV over to the podcasters. 99% of them are rinse and repeating what was disseminated on the cable television. So whether they are conscripted or paid directly, or they just believe drinking the Kool-Aid by injecting their personal opinion to a fake story, a story that's mendacity, they are rinse and repeating a propaganda story, and they're drawing attention and shedding light onto a lie. So in other words, they're engaging in pacification and control, not education. That's the big distinction between your channel and my channel. We're trying to educate people. We really want to be teachers who educate. And you know, the definition of education is not indoctrination. That's not the definition. It's to help people gain wisdom, to help people gain useful knowledge. That's what a teacher does. That's what, in my opinion, that's what a teacher does. At all Harvard University, Stanford University, University of California, Berkeley, Notre Dame, they don't do that. They don't engage in teaching. They only participate in indoctrination so that you can get a better job and get a degree and have some academic status. But they are not interested in filling your head full of wisdom or knowledge. That is not their charter.
Yeah. So the full interviews are definitely worth watching. We're going to do them every week on Tuesday. And yeah, that's basically what I'm seeing a lot of. That's kind of what I'm seeing going on now. It's like a lot of people are kind of trying to withdraw from technology, and I think that's a good thing. And that's why I think they've got to move fast. Like if they're looking at it from a tactical, like strategic way, they've got to make their move soon, or people are going to ditch it. And yeah, so now that I showed you this, I might as well throw people a bone and kind of back that up a little bit. So I'm just gonna like kind of show you a little bit of the research that I've been doing on this topic. So this is all available. Like when I update the video and everything, I'll put the link there. But I've got here, I'll move myself out of the way. I've got a whole section. Let's see. Yeah, Taco Bell's a hard one to part with. That's true. I guess I'll put myself on the other side. There we go. Cool. Yeah, so these are just really notes that I've compiled. Some of them I've made into articles, some of them I haven't. Mainly, so the decentralized autonomous organizations, those are kind of cells or clusters of people. Think like a beehive. That's a symbol that's used often, a beehive. People are co-opted into the beehive, and everybody's got to do their part, and it'll be through your personal algorithm. That's what your beliefs will be. It's going to be what, for instance, it's like you see things going on in other states, and for me, to a degree, I mean, I live in Ohio. It's cold as hell in Ohio right now, but some things I like. I mean, I know what's going on, but I don't see it as much here, and I think that's because, I know for a fact all of us watched the Shadowgate documentaries together. They can just cluster people up and assign them programming through an algorithm. And so a decentralized autonomous organization is where those beehives, those clusters of people can be tokenized. They can be tokenized into a asset or an organization. And they may have already. We don't know. We have no idea. The network state, the World Health or World Economic Forum has already got writings into this. So yeah, I've got a lot of really good stuff here. I really highly recommend people see it. But the one I wanted to show everyone, blockchain and genomics, is good. Oh, let's load more. Here we go. Yeah, the work of Dr. Robert Duncan. You may have followed my channel. If you haven't, I highly recommend you see the interviews with him. He is definitely somebody who's done research for the government. And some of the stuff that he's talked about is just genuinely insane. Two of his books, Project Soulcatcher, let's see, Cybernetic and Psychotronic Warfare, Mind Viruses, Weapon Grade Worms, and all these acronyms. These are gonna blow your mind. The acronyms. This is another good one. How to Tame a Demon. Yeah. Targeted individuals, organized intimidation and stalking, electric torture. Yeah. The interview, you can listen to the interview. It's a very good interview. It's from 2006. This was a long time ago. Might as well. I wonder if I have the album in here. That's kind of what I want to show you of visuals. On this page on my site, I've got all of basically the starter resources. These are basically anyone can come here. It's all free. These are articles, the ones that I just showed you. The Devil's Dictionary is worth downloading. It's got terms. Let's see, I've got the album here. Right here, they look like this. They're word terms of technology that a lot of us really don't even know exists because we don't have the words for it, and that's kind of where this comes in. Biodigital convergence, a dynamic through which greed, the desire for control, and psychopathy come together in a harmonious fashion by imposing, forcefully if necessary, artificial, synthetic, non-living digital technologies onto natural, organic life systems of life, organic living systems of life, for purposes of creating hybrid entities that are imprinted with an imperative to eliminate or subjugate all non-hybrid entities. Which means if you are zombies, like Walking Dead zombies, if you become a zombie, meaning if you get augmented, then the augmentation's goal will be like, it's like a parasite, it'll be to further itself. So if somebody gets augmented, then they were going to act in such a way that will help other people become augmented to gain power. This is parasitism. Remember we all went through the Parasite Pill ebook. I don't know how many of the people who are here all the time, they remember this probably, the Parasite Pill ebook. Whole thing is just parasitic all the way up. Evil is parasitic. Global Information Grid. That's a longer one. There's the whole album here. You can see the whole album. Here. Hey, what's up, Art Gertison? Nice to see you. Yeah, Congress and the Senate. I mean, how many of those people do you think are augmented? And the truth is, probably a lot of them, because a lot of people in Congress have at least been in the military before. So if they were groomed into politics, they're going to have them controlled for a long time. Here's a short reel I made. I'll play that for you.
From a NAB White House is the Devil's Dictionary. Energy harvesting / breath theft, aka the Vampire Project. This is a technology that enables a network, system, corporation, institution, medical practitioner, or government agency to harvest energy from a human being's biofield in order to electrically subsidize or power that. Networks, systems, corporations, institutions, medical practitioners, or government agencies' hacking of other facets of a person's biological terrain. The notion of energy harvesting also refers to the capacity to use energy from human beings as a means of mining cryptocurrency, with or without the consent of the individual whose energy is being harvested. Fact checkers. These are people who are enamored with their own set of biases, prejudices, agendas, presuppositions, and blind spots. Fact-checkers are individuals who use the political, religious, and philosophical lenses which frame their way of engaging questions of facticity in a manner that tips the hermeneutical scales in their own favor when applied to such questions. Income tax. This is a process that transfers money, both directly and indirectly, to the military-industrial complex, a system which transduces private assets into public liabilities. Politicians. Members of a parasitic class who pretend to be public servants while expecting the public to be their servants. These are individuals who are well versed in the process of destabilizing society through the checks and balances of delusions, illusions, subterfuge, rationalizations, and self-serving duplicity. Derivatives. These are weapons of mass destruction. Derivatives are a framework for parsing everything into packages of tranches and truncheons of financial worth that are devoid of moral value. DARPA, or more fittingly, the Devil's Advanced Research Projects Agency. Among other forms of deviltry, DARPA has been busily involved. Obviously, idle hands are not the only portal through which deviltry enters the world. With the generating of increasingly sophisticated, faster, as well as more complex or enhanced forms of brain-computer interfaces, a term first introduced in 1971 by Jacques Vidal, that are capable of being used as instruments of egalitarian, i.e., dual-use weaponry, which therefore can be directed against all parties, both foreign and domestic. DARPA is a publicly funded program that, like other government institutions, is dedicated to enslaving the people who are funding it. Currently, DARPA is deeply involved in experimenting with next-generation non-surgical neurotechnology, known as N3. This is a euphemistic way of referring to the process of technologically augmenting human beings through acoustic, electromagnetic, and optical forces, which then can be utilized to assist the process of taking control of governance, resources, and non-augmented human beings.
Yes, I do. But basically, the way that I've come to kind of see these things, when they present something like that, like, yes, this is definitely, it's a cover for something. It's like they're going to be doing something and you're going to probably just see the stuff like moving around. And so you're going to need a reason for it. Like, you're going to need a story of why are they doing this? Well, here's why they're doing it. And so that's what those are. For instance, an interesting thing that's been brought to my attention is that in the city of London, there is a guild or an organization. They're called Drapers, the Order of the Drapers. And for instance, when you look into the history, they pop up in all these weird places. Like, what are they? What do they actually do? Nobody knows what they really do. And so the Drapers are the people who just kind of put the drapes up and make things look nice, you know? And so kind of that's what you've got going on when they present something like that to the public. They're going to make it look nice, and so we're doing this, and it's for this, that, the other, but something else entirely is going on. We may or may not know what that is, but yeah, my guess would probably be exactly, you know, this type of thing, technology. That's really been, even from the beginning, like right, January when Trump was inaugurated, it was technology and the Stargate stuff right out the gate, and I think that's a big part of what we're going to see in the remaining years of his second term. And I'll be shocked to see if he tries to run again or what happens there. I don't know. That would be a very big betrayal, I think. And, you know, that's just the way that it works, because the way to money, fame, and power is through betraying people. Which is, I think, really one of the strengths when you get into the Bible, because what was it about Christianity that was like innovative when it comes to like we look at it as this was Old Testament and then this is new, and so what was it improving? And well, what happens is Jesus is able to forgive Judas for betraying him, and so it's kind of a way for people to follow Jesus by saying, you know, forgive the people who stab you in the back. And I think that is kind of a very important key there. And I think that Jesus knew this because of kind of the way that they talk. He knew that this was something that needed to happen. But yeah, this page here has got all kinds of stuff. It's got notes to the notes. Here we go. Critical glossary. This is a good starting point. Just words are really what you got to learn here. I mean, this stuff exists, but we can't talk about it because we don't have the words for it. And some of the words are got, very loaded definitions. Let's see. So, yeah, this has got all kinds of word definitions. Smart technology, mindless consent to the technology grid. Smart growth is directly related to the Agenda 21 plan to eliminate rural communities and pack populations into mega cities for control. Yes. Decentralization. The Greek lie is that it eliminates control. Instead, it perfects it. It refers to the distribution of power, but the mechanisms of command become distributed through the brains and bodies of the citizens in controlled societies. Yeah, there's actually a technology, and acronym is SATAN. It's silent assassination through adaptive neural networks. So, all of these programs that they're using in Gaza, well, silent assassination through adaptive neural networks. Very good possibility that this is being deployed in Gaza, but they're just definitely not going to call it for what it is. Let's see. Trying to look for ones that I want to read. A body area network. This is pretty important. The technological reality where the human electrical body, including the biofield, is utilized as a covert internal communications channel. An electro quasiastic human body communication, EQS HBC, and a network backbone for industrial, military, and healthcare applications, making the individual sensor and the body a weapon. Let's see. A SIM, a subscriber identification module. A metaphor used by controllers, particularly RF engineers and IT personnel, to describe human targets, signifying their nodes being played like Sims in a real-life video game for surveillance, experimentation, and control. Synthetic telepathy, voice to skull. Direct brain to computer and brain to brain, peer-to-peer communication, achieved artificially, often via electromagnetic signals, microwave hearing effect, used to transmit emotions, words, and sensory perception bidirectionally into the human mind, or to project voices for deception, destabilization, or assassination. Yeah, it's like these are loaded terms. Cerebral cortex cloning. The core technique of remote mind control, allowing handlers to remotely access, read, and influence a target's brain signals, thoughts, and sensory perceptions, as if seeing and hearing through the target's eyes and ears, used for torture, reading or recording memory, and manipulation. The funny thing is, guys, literally the majority of these, you can just find them on Wikipedia. But, oh yeah, these are fun. Chatterboxes and ALICE. ALICE stands for Automated or Artificial Linguistic Programs, or I guess it doesn't tell me the acronym. Artificial Linguistic Internet Computer Entity. Artificial Linguistic Internet Computer Entity. Chatterboxes or DARPA bots. Automated linguistic programs used not just for conversation, but as tools of psychological manipulation. They sustain conversations to keep minds hypnotized, facilitate personality alterations, act as fishing trips to probe minds during remote interrogation, and can induce internal monologue to trick the target into believing that they are hearing their own thoughts. Isn't that great, guys? Yeah. not. This is a mess. This stuff is insane. Like, it is insane. And it's all been hidden because nobody knows what. They just think it's a smartphone. You know, that's an intelligent phone you got there. Not a smartphone. Everybody knows about the last one. Yeah, these are really good pages. I really hope everybody takes advantage of those. One time I needed. Where's the album? Let's see. Here we go. Probably here. Here it is. Found it. Here we go. Let's see. Move myself over so that you can see. And I'll move the chat over so you can see. There you go. Yeah, so these are many of the terms that you need to know. We already looked at that one. Satan, silent assassination through adaptive neural networks. So the primary weapon for scalable, automated silent assassination, often leading to self-manipulative murder or suicide. It is designed to cause maximum destruction to an individual and community. It integrates mind viruses, torture programs, and algorithms to induce detrimental behaviors like alcoholism or suicide, and to shorten life plausibly, giving dial-in lethality. It uses a voodoo doll style sub-program for remote pain infliction. This automated system is classified as illegal by the Geneva Conventions because it cannot recognize surrender. And I mean, maybe, put it this way, maybe if somebody told you that back in 2006 or before everything in Gaza happened, maybe people wouldn't believe it. But, and all, you know, there are so many people who just talk to them and they'll tell you about how they are literally being tortured alive. Zombification and remote control. Process of inserting software or neural code that allows remote monitoring and control of a system or person without their knowledge. The U.S. Army projects called Zombie 1 through 4 or 1 through 5 focused on creating remote controlled soldiers, that's true, who blindly follow instructions. Modern technology sends instructions directly to the brain via neural encoded instructions, bioamplification, creating sleeper agents and disposable assets worldwide. Yep, it's crazy. There's quite a few of these in here. Oh, this one's fun. And this one even has the patent number. Soul catchers. Actually, let's see. Yep. Crazy. Oh, they gotta have a little bit of mocking in there. Common human routines interface software technology. ADOM. Electric dissolution of memory. Gabriel is a code word for global communications warfare. Medusa, mob excess deterrent using silent audio. It's a microwave ray gun capable of beaming sound directly into people's heads using the microwave audio effect designed for military or crowd control. Probably what we saw a couple months ago when they were using it at rallies. Mind, mentally integrated neuron duplicator. Everybody really knows what MK Ultra is. RHIC, radio hypnotic intracerebral control. And Tammy. Alice and Tammy go together. So you have Alice, artificial linguistic internet computer entity, and Tammy, thought and memory interface. So they're used together. Yeah, and he even goes into some of the MK Ultra scripts that have been used which are very interesting. The Wizard of Oz one is an interrogation framework where the target is forced to cycle through roles representing characters. So what's going on here is the movie was the programming session. So you have to force people to take on these different archetype based roles, and you have to give them some pressure. So it's like the reason that the movie had to happen is because they needed something to apply the pressure. Like you needed to be put into these roles because you have to play the role perfectly. And so all these are very, very interesting. And so all of these links right here, I will send in the chat, as a matter of fact. Why don't I do that? Boom. There we go. One on all the platforms. But I highly encourage people to take a look at these. They're very good resources, and there's books that you can download, all kinds of stuff. And you can bookmark this page because I will update it from time to time whenever new stuff needs to be put on there. But yeah, that's some of the stuff that I've been working on lately, and I highly encourage anybody who's interested in following it to, here, I'm trying to make myself a little bit bigger. There we go. Anyone who's interested in following it, encourage you to follow me. Let's see. Oh, 1 second. I'm not sure. I know that there are a lot of people who've tried different things like that and works to varying degrees. But I really couldn't give you a solid answer on that. It's very advanced now, and I think, it's pretty easy to get to people now. It's like if they want to get to you, they will get to you. So really, I think at that point you just have to know that you have spiritual protection. That's all you can do when it comes to these things. You just got to pray and ask to be protected from it. And I think if you ask for it, that's what you get. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I will, let's see, let's go to the home page. I'm probably, live right now. Got all kinds of stuff. I mean, I really encourage you guys to check out theofficialurban.substack.com. theofficialurban.substack.com. Got all kinds of stuff there. And we're going to be doing a lot of new projects going forward. And I guess that's it, guys. I think that's all I had for you tonight. But it's good to give Pastor Carner a break, and I hope that he takes that up a little more often. I mean, the guy really goes hard. It is very impressive to stream every single day. There's only the most hardened people can do that. So, but with that said, guys, it has been my pleasure to see you guys. It's been my pleasure to fill in for Pastor Carner again. Glad to do it. It's fun to see everybody. I really appreciate it. That's really the best part of doing this, is that it's always the same people. That is probably, honestly, if I had to guess. Yes, thanks, Boots. Here we go. I still got to get it, but yes, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, regardless of what platform you're on.
It really means the world to all of us. And I was going to say, I think that's probably why he does it, is because the same people are here every night. And so it really is, you know, you enjoy it, you feel connected. So, but thanks, Boots. Thanks, Scorpion. Thanks, Claire. Let's see, who else was there? R. Gertison, thank you. Who else was there? SRFR, if you're still here, thank you. Amanda, thank you. Everybody have a good night. Take care, everybody.